And now 680. No, actually, well, I don't know. 680 is a interesting number, I suppose. Is it actually? There's a lot of more interesting numbers. Alright, let's... Oh, this is Sunday, isn't it? Shit. Oh well. I think I should be able to... I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm like fucking this entire thing up with the grind. But, okay. So, sorry. So, 680. 6.8. Actually, I don't know if it's 6.8. What are the army... Or actually... Well, let me look this up. Military... apparently adopted a new rifle, or the U.S. military specifically adopted a new rifle, in the form of, I don't know actually what it's called. I don't know if it's the Army, or the Marines, or the Navy, or the entire military. Army recently awarded a contract to the manufacturer Sig Sauer for 2 new soldier weapons, the XM5 rifle and the XM250 automatic rifle. Supposed to replace the M4 carbine and the M249 squad automatic weapon. And it's apparently, I think it's in a 6.8 by 51 cartridge, so basically 7.62 by 51 neck down to 6.8, which seems like just a step backwards, kind of. I don't know. The context. Okay, so the context is that military engagements in World War II, they kind of discovered, they figured out that, you know, well, not necessarily in World War II, or in World War I, but kind of got hit harder in World War II, that military engagements take place between like 100 and 300 yards typically, and some countries wanted to, you know, were playing around with those numbers, and like, you know, 100 and 300 yards, 100 to 300 meters, kind of used interchangeably, even though they are technically different distances. And, you know, usually, you know, it's like a 5.56 is... You know, the 5.56 okay, so NATO went with 7.62 by 51 because the US wanted to have a full power cartridge. And then they realized that it was, well, they tried using it in the M14 and they realized that that was a bad idea. Because the M14 was kind of garbage. And then they kind of accidentally stumbled into the AR-15, and then the AR-15 stuck. And that was in 5.56, and that's what everybody used. And that was fine, but also now there's and you know, that's perfect for these engagements of 100 to 300 meters. However, now we're getting into engagements where everybody's wearing body armor, and 5.56 is not typically not sufficient necessarily to have armor penetration capabilities, proper armor penetration capabilities. So they're like, we need to go back to, you know, 7.62 to have a, you know, have a proper armor piercing thing. And also, like, recent engagements are, like, you know, taking place in, took place in, like, Afghanistan. They were taking place at longer ranges, so at specifically longer ranges than typical, so 7.62 rifles were kind of making a lot of sense in those senses. So, now the problem is that, well, I don't know about this 6.8 by 51 cartridge, but if logic would dictate that it is going to be heavier, you're going to be able to carry less ammo. It will have more recoil. Presumably a heavier bullet with a higher pressure than 5.56, I would imagine. A heavier rifle also built around that, probably. Although, well, maybe not. It depends. It might be around the same ballpark. It could be. It depends. Not that a new rifle's just a completely bad idea, obviously, but there are some definite potential downsides. And especially if you're talking about mixing in a new cartridge and only the army is adopting it, although I'm still not 100% sure on that. And yeah, so I don't know. It's a thing that's happened. Sorry, random gun nut coming out in me. I just have to bring it up every once in a while. But yeah, no, like, and don't get me wrong, it's not a terrible idea, I suppose, but it's just like, why? Why would you do this? Because there'll definitely be people who are like, oh, I don't care about 5.56 anymore. I only want 6.8 or 6.8 by 51 in on the civilian market, and it'll be a thing certainly, but also like all of your AR-15 receivers you won't be able to put that cartridge in the a 5.56 magwell because it's too long, or because the magwell is too short, the cartridge is too long. And there will be a sudden resurgence of AR-10 receivers, or AR-10, or SR-25, or whatever you want to call it. Although, I mean, that's probably not 5.56. I mean, there will be people like that, but 5.56 will be common for at least another half century, if not longer. Damn. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go, I suppose, with that. Be interesting to follow up on it. I don't know. I do want to do a little bit of research into it. More research into it, anyway. It could be a thing of, like... Well, we'll see. I don't know. Actually, what would it be called? I don't know. It might be the M5 rifle, but I feel like there's probably something, because it's this crazy thing where, like, you have to consider the M1 Garand was the first rifle to be designated the M1, and then you have the and then you have the M14, which replaced it in, large degrees. Like, what the hell is the M2? What the hell is the M2 to M13 rifles? I don't know. I know one of them is like a rifle that's meant to be like you put it into like it's basically supposed to be like a bazooka trainer, where you use a specialty cartridge for training troops on how to use bazookas, and there's things like that, and maybe some small order rifle that got ordered by some by some small unit or some specific detachment that is technically a part of the military and got a military designation. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you just have to let things come out, and you just have to talk about guns for an episode, I guess. I don't know. Until next time, have a good day. Great day, even. Chowskis. Actually...